I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I am your host, Carol Riddick, for those of you who are unaware, and I am joined by the undeniably talented and incomparable Miss Kayla J. Miss Kayla J., whom, as you all know by now, makes sure that everything runs smoothly. You hear me? You hear me? So, family, thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you here with us on this Wednesday, June 9th. You know, every single day when I tell you the date, I cannot believe it. I keep saying, do you believe it? Do you believe it? And it's because I'm in disbelief. How about that? But happy Wednesday to you. We're just happy to have you here. So, family, you know what we do. You know what we do. You know what I'm ready to do. I'm ready to check in. I'm ready to have the check-in, the roll call. So for those of you who are joining us on our socials, send me a little hello. Send me a hey, a hello, a hi, a good evening, a good day, or, you know, whatever it is that you're feeling in your spirit. Let us know that you are there. You are here. I should say you are here. Okay, with us, that we're sharing spirit and time together. Hey there, Nasir. Nasir Butler writes, good evening, Sister Carol and Kayla J. and guest, peace and blessings. Thank you, Nasir. You are truly appreciated. Family, don't think that I've forgotten you. Those of you who are not on our socials but are listening, you know, I always send you love as well because we can feel your love right here. We know that you are there with us. We always know that you are. And your love, too, is so greatly appreciated. So for those of you whose light is shining just a little dimly today, yep, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So for you whose light is shining just a little dimly today, I'm sending you all the extra love and hugs that I can muster in this moment. All of them. You hear me? All the extra ones that I can muster in this very moment, because I know that we all need them sometimes. You know, y'all heard me say it the other day when I needed a little extra love. And I was so grateful for the extra love that you all shared. Thank you again. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you if it is your birthday. Happy birthday. Yancey, I know that it's your birthday. So Yancey, happy birthday to you. And to those whose birthday that I have missed. Okay, I think I said forgotten before, but have missed. You know, I always ask you to charge that to my head and not to my heart. So family, here we are. We're in the middle of the week. We've had so much going on. So much going on. We've been talking about current events and what's going on in our neighborhoods. Oh, me oh my. I am going to jump into the conversation about our recent events. So we can get into that before we talk with tonight's guest, because I want tonight's guest to have all the time that she deserves. She truly deserves. So okay, the first topic is this smoke, the air quality. I, y'all, I'm almost speechless. I really, really, really. We were talking about it the other day. I was asking if you were aware when I read one of the articles. Nasir writes, Carol, the smoke ran my grandson and I in earlier today. I don't play with this air situation. I'm with you, Nasir. I don't play with it. I'm not playing with it at all. You hear me? Not even a little bit. And when I'd mentioned it the other day when the article was out about the air quality and what was going on. Quite honestly, I thought it was just for that day. I don't know why. I thought it was just going to be something that was coming in and going out and what have you. But today is the worst of what I've seen. It is horrible out there. And the article reads, a code red air quality alert has been issued for the entire Delaware Valley as smoke from wildfires burning in Canada blankets the area. So, what it reads is that a code red air quality alert means that air pollution concentrations are unhealthy for the general population and outdoor activities should be avoided. Let me tell you something. Family, now you know I care. I'm going to ask you not to go out there. You hear me? I don't care about that milk that you want. You get it another day. You hear me? Or whatever it is, the butter, the milk, the sugar, whatever, you get it another day because we don't listen, we don't have time to play with this. We do not have time to play with this. It's just too much. And quite honestly, if you look out your window, you will see exactly what it is about which I'm speaking right now. So I don't even know why I'm asking because I'm sure you see what I see. But yeah, Nasir, I'm glad that you did bring the little one in because, um, we talk about everything that's going on and we talk about everything that we're concerned about and are challenged with as it pertains to our health. But this just felt like, what? What? It just felt like, come on, now we can't go outside. But again, how about that? Again, because that was a thought that occurred to me. But I mean, listen, I'm happy to be here. So I'm just, throwing a little tantrum, but I'm happy to be here at the core of it all. At the core of it all. So I'm going to move on to the next article that I read today. And family, I'm encouraging you to join the conversation and to let me know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. I always do. You can comment on our socials. Or you can always call me, and you can do that by calling 215-634-8065. Or you can call toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Hi there, Raphael. Raphael is checking in. He writes, good evening. Good evening to you too, good sir. I hope you were not out there today. I hope you did not go out there today for anything, for any reason. Raphael, you weren't out there, were you? So I was about to go into the next article. Police are giving away, Philadelphia police, by the way, are giving away vehicle locks for cars targeted in a viral video trend. I'm not sure if you read that or are aware. Every police district in Philadelphia is stepping up to offer vehicle locks to owners of Hyundai and Kia vehicles in an effort to combat an online trend that has provided thieves with ways in which to steal cars made by these manufacturers. So, family, if you or yours have a Hyundai or a Kia, make sure you get one of these locks, these vehicle locks that Philadelphia police are giving away. They're giving them away. And look, we have it again. How about this? Don't go get it today, though. Don't go today. But you make sure you get one of those locks. You hear me? You make sure you do that if you or yours have one of these vehicles. Moving on to the next story. Philly nonprofit to help small businesses buy property. I thought this was such a nice theme when I read it. It was a feel-good story. The Enterprise Center, a Philadelphia-based nonprofit organization that helps to promote small business development, has a new $500,000 revolving loan pool for minority-owned companies. Family. We were all talking about trying to sustain and maintain, and we're in the days of having multiple, income streams. So And I say that, I don't say that to mean that we all have them. I'm saying we're all trying to find ways to have multiple income streams. That is to what I'm referring. So this might be a good idea if you are a small business owner or are uh, in the process of starting your small business. So, okay, I want to go back to one of the other stories that we talked about. We talked about the Florida mother that was fatally shot by her neighbor. And we were all outraged because she had not at that time been arrested. The woman had not been arrested, the woman who committed the crime. So now the update is that the woman has been arrested in connection with the shooting death of a Black Florida mother who was killed after knocking on her door, on the neighbor's door. A woman has been arrested in connection with the death of Ajike Owens, the Black mother who authorities say was fatally shot in Central Florida after knocking on a neighbor's door. Um, I know we all talked about this the other day, and we all expressed how outraged we were. I'm happy to see that there's an update, and I'm happy that this is the update that she has been arrested. So, for those of our family members who are unaware of that update, I wanted to make you aware and let you know, so that my heart goes out to her babies, her family, all of her loved ones. And as you know, my heart goes out to anyone who has suffered tragedy, but especially and particularly our babies, because I talk to you all the time about the trauma our babies are trying to navigate and process. And I cannot imagine this baby trying to process the loss of his mother and in the way in which it happened. So, again, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with me, and you can do so by reaching out to me on our socials, or you can call us at 215-634-8065, or you can call toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I believe one of our family members is on the line. Are you still there?
Yes, hello, Cal. How you doing?
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm glad that you're feeling better, and I'm glad that just how beautiful the station is and your program are. When the people called you was concerned about you, made me feel real good. So I hope you're
Me.
feeling well and continue to feel well. You know, Cal, I was out today with some people, right? And my eyes, I didn't know about, about this thing. And then my eyes, they might thought some of their eyes were running right in between. And them and one of my family members called me, said, my photos saw all this stuff. So I just hope that you will, throughout the program, tell the people on our show here to call somebody and tell them to get their masses and use the precaution and follow what the person like you were saying and the experts are saying, because we don't know. They're saying that this is going to be something else. I don't want to put negative in it, but say this thing is not going to go away, according to what they were saying on Nick's show, now on your show. So I hope that you will constantly remind the people of this and the seriousness of this, because we don't know what long range effect this may have. And so I hope you. How's your aunt doing? Those persons, I know that they have age with them, and what I heard you say yesterday, that your family members was in the studio with you. I thought I heard you say that.
No, I know actually, but I did talk with my aunt and uncle today. I talked with them just today, and they are anxious to come back. They're doing really well, really, really
Well,
well. Is that I did
well,
tell them, I'm
yes,
sorry.
and maybe it's because I'm a little biased because I just wanted, because I thought that was one of the most beautiful love stories I have heard. And when they came on it was just so romantic. All the things that went with that, the pictures, the guy in the army coming back, and if your mother, I never heard your mother, her voice, but if your mother was like your aunt voice that I heard, your mother didn't take no stuff, because that lady, your
No,
mother was really nice.
she didn't
I
take
was very
anything.
nice. But it was just, I just hope the best for them, because I know that they have aged with them. And I want the audience to hear that love story. What a beautiful story. So glad you're doing well, Carol. And yesterday, the people was calling you. You went Somebody told me, say, Ryan, now when you call Cal, don't you take.
No, listen, I tell you every single time you call, I so appreciate your energy. I so appreciate your phone calls and the positivity that you share each and every time that you do call. I tell you that every single time because I mean it. That's why I say it. And I do thank you for checking on me because when you said the other day, you were making sure my spirit was bright and you were trying to uplift me, and you did. And then other family members of ours did the same thing. They began to call and uplift my spirit, and that was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what I needed. So thank you again for that. And you're right. Well, I wanted to ask you though about this air quality thing. You said they're saying it's not going to get any better anytime soon. I was under the impression we were going to deal with this for just a few days. But of course, then, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm prayerful at this point that it won't last for much longer than a few days. Family, listen, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We have a friend to the show who is back, a woman that I just love and adore. She is our guest tonight, and she's joining us to talk about some things that, well, actually, we've been tossing around some subject matter that we've been tossing around. But, we talk about love, we talk about life, and we talk about everything in between. But before she joins us, I am still welcoming you to join the discussion about the topics we've touched on. And you can do so again by sharing in the comments on Facebook, or again, I'm going to tell you one more time before we go to break, you can call me at 215-634-8065, or you can call toll free at 1-866-361-0900. In the meantime, though, there's some information that I'm going to share with you. So family, this June, we celebrate Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip hop with an insightful and entertaining event. Join us for Message in the Music, Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion on hip hop as a soundtrack to inspire or incite, a live music trivia game show with prizes, a cipher, and an open mic. Our featured panelists include Dr. Aaron Smith, Tame, Queen Joe, Deanna Williams, and Ursula Rucker. If you love music, have opinions about the state of hip-hop, want to test your musical knowledge, and or want to show off your talent, then join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. So get your tickets now at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and WXPN Artists to Watch podcast. On that note, family, what we're going to do, we're just going to take a short little commercial break, but stay with us because when we come back, we'll be talking with our guest. Stay with us.
In Philadelphia, everyone is reading the One Book, One Philadelphia featured selection, Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu, a touching, funny book about how cultural representation, family histories, and class shape us. Youth companion books include American-Born Chinese by Jean Lumen Yang and Drawn Together by Min Lei and Dan Santat. One Book features 9 weeks of programming through June 22nd, sponsored by Pico. Visit freelibrary.org/onebook for the full calendar of events.
You're one connection away from your next career opportunity. Operation 10 City is hosting a Business Opportunity Expo and Career Fair on June 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Register to attend for free to meet local entrepreneurs and companies looking to hire at operation10city.com.
Word family, it's that time again, our special early bird membership drive. Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax, Word President and CEO. We need your support now more than ever, especially this year when we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. For the last 2 decades, WURD has been the only place in Philly where our people can speak and be heard in their own voice every day, all day long. Your membership support has allowed us to expand our programming, deepen our community engagement, and provide culturally relevant information across all of our platforms, on air, online, on social media, and through community outreach events. If you're not a Forward member yet, please join or renew today at the discounted rate of $75. Visit us at wordradio.com/earlybird or check us out in person when we'll be at Odunde on June 11th, Words Black Music Month celebration on June 16th, or for the Juneteenth weekend celebrations on June 18th and 19th. For more information, go to wordradio.com/earlybird. Thanks so much.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I want to take a moment to go to our socials and recognize that Miss Julie Audrey Ward Carnegie has said hello and has left us a message. She writes, sending hugs and love to each of us affected. Also, complete details of the fatal ending of the life of Ajike Owens. She's included an article with details about the arrest of Susan Louise Lawrence and the tragic story of what could have been a preventable death. Thank you so much, Miss Julie, for always sharing information with us. You know, I tell you all every single day that I believe communication is key, and you know, I'm trying to make every effort for us to communicate effectively. So thank you, family. I was telling you before the break that our guest tonight, she is no stranger to the show and that I just love her to pieces. But you've heard me say that too. When you see her, you'll know exactly about whom I'm speaking and why I say that. She is a graduate of Lincoln University. Another one. We've got all this Lincoln University alum this week. Isn't that wonderful? But she is a graduate of Lincoln University. Amongst many other things, she is a board-certified African-centered Black psychologist who only works with individuals and couples specializing in race-based trauma and relationship issues. She is the author of A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle, Finding Your Ideal Love Partner, Making Love Last, and Ending Unhealthy Relationships. It's a multiracial examination of love relationships. And she is the co-founder of Black Love Partners, which is a tax-exempt matchmaking organization designed to increase marriages and decrease divorces by assisting individuals to be relationship ready. Family, I ask you to kindly welcome Dr. AYO Maria Gooden, aka Dr. AYO Sanyika. I had to get that in there. I said I never told them that before, so I had to put that in there. Hi, Dr. Gooden.
Hotep, peace and blessings. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction, and it is an honor to join you and all of your audience once again. Thank you.
I tell you, I love it when you come. I do. I shared that with her before. Before I brought her into the room. I said, I just love it when you come. But I was so excited to know that you were coming back. When I'd ask her, I was like, can she come back? Can she come back to join us? Because of the conversation we initially had, our discussion, and when you were sharing about your own life and about your own relationship, and it was of so much interest to me and our other family members that I said, I just have to have her come back and I want to talk more about Black love partners and everything. I would find out all that's going on with you. And, I know we've got a whole lot that we're going to discuss tonight, but I just wanted to share with our family members why I have so much excitement about you coming. Before we continue our conversation, though, I want to acknowledge that Miss Lola is also in the room. Hi, Miss Lola. She's joining us on our socials. She writes, "Hello, Carol and Kayla J. One of my faves, Dr. Gooden." I know, Miss Lola, me too.
Thank you. How
You're
kind.
welcome. And Gary, hi there. Hello, brother Gary. Gary Bryant writes, "Good evening, Carol Riddick and Word family and guest." So we are all happy that you are here. So since the last time, well, the last time you visited with us, we were celebrating the life and legacy of Tina Turner. So we were so happy to have you join us that night. But tonight is all about you. It's all about you, Dr. Gooden. And I want to jump right in to one of the scenarios that was brought up from a prior show that we had. And it was about the dynamic between, it was not specifically about a Black couple, but I would like to apply it, especially in this scenario. But the dynamic between a couple, Black woman and Black man, where the woman makes more money than the man does. And I'm curious to know if you have helped couples through that scenario.
Absolutely. And it certainly brings to mind one of Tina Turner's songs. What's love got to do with it?
How about that? How about that?
I love that song.
Me too.
When you look at it, and I think that there's a war that many of us may not be aware of, especially those of us who are married, between single Black men and single Black women. And part of that war includes this belief by some women that unless a man is making more money than she's making, he is not worthy of her. And I think that is such an unfortunate belief system. It's devastating to Black people from the standpoint of, given, once again, if you know me, you will know I always look at the historical perspective, which is that we're in the situation we're in economically because of the past slavery and the current system of institutionalized racism. And for Black women to believe that the only man is a man who makes more money than she does is to suggest that all men who make more money have to be good men. Mm-hmm. And all men who make less money than she does are not good men, which is why so many Black women are single. In fact, Black women have the highest rate of being single or unmarried among any other ethnic group. No group of women are less likely to be married than Black women. Wow. So when we look at this, and the rates are around approximately 30% of Black people are married. Out of that 30%, about 18% are married to someone who is not Black. And out of those people who are married, about 42% of us get divorced. So we have to start looking at what that means. You know, even if those people who are currently of marriage age, if they want to continue engaging in non-productive behaviors, then they'll probably stay single the rest of their lives. But what does that mean for our children and our grandchildren who are not being given the opportunity or the guidance to find a happy, productive relationship? And I can say, I want to start off with this statement. I am happily married. I love my husband. My husband loves me. In fact, we were out in that stuff today, not knowing about it until
Yeah.
we were on our way home. We said, why does it look so, gloomy? It was the smog from the fires. And we were walking hand in hand. And as we were walking, some Blacks were sitting in the area that we passed by, and they started cheering us and talking about, the brother, don't let go of her. Keep holding on to her.
That's right.
And the reality is this, that should be what we're all doing.
Mm-hmm.
Those who want to be married should be married. And there is a way to find who's right for you.
There is a way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not as difficult as we think, but it's more difficult for Black people because we don't have anything in place, which is one of the reasons I wrote my book, because I saw people coming into therapy, and without a doubt, relationship issues are related to what we've learned in our households or what we've experienced in our relationships. And that means that if your partner wasn't raised properly or was traumatized or had some issues, they bring those issues into the relationship. If you have been traumatized or you have learned some inappropriate behaviors, which, by the way, a lot of Black women learn some really bad behaviors from their mothers. The worst one probably being that Black men aren't worth your time. And that is absolutely untrue. There are some men who are not worth your time, but you have to be able to screen them out. You don't clump them all together and say all Black men are no good. Just like you can't say all women who are Black are good, because it's just not true.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. I wanted to take a moment to read some of the comments in our socials. Miss Lola writes, well, thank you for this recognition. Today would have been Prince's 61st anniversary, his birthday. Yes, Prince, whom I love and adore. His music lives on. He was so talented. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. We do love and adore him, and we miss him tremendously. Ms. Joanne Dorman writes, good evening, Kayla J., Word Family guest and listeners. Wow. So good to see Dr. Gooden. Ms. Lola writes again, Ebony K. Williams from Griot caused a firestorm about this very topic. She writes that Ayanla asked her on a segment of her show, would she date a bus driver? Right. And she said only if he owned the bus company, which is horrible. Right. And she writes, people came at her because it offended working class men. Of course it did. Yes, it did. And I'm offended by that. But she writes, it's a touchy subject. For some Black women are out earning a lot of Black men. And yeah, I'm that when I saw that story, on the socials about that, I thought at first I thought it was just buffoonery at its best. And then I read she was serious. I didn't realize she was even serious. I thought it was just a, something for social media, but she was really serious. That I couldn't even understand the mindset. Like how do you degrade someone? How do you just do that? How do you belittle a man because he doesn't make as much money as you? How do you do that?
Well, I think that there's some need to examine both what she was suggesting as well as what needs to be the case. And I think that when you're looking for a partner, you want to find someone who has as much in common with you as possible. Now, if you start with income, then you're going to miss a lot of wonderful people out here. But you do have to look for, what do we have in common? What do I like to do? What does my partner like to do? The more things we have in common, the more likely that relationship will end up as a positive experience. Now, if you're just judging somebody by income or job title, then of course that's going to be a problem. But at the same time, it's kind of like, let's use the example of an older person who marries someone very young. It is more likely that older person, I can tell you from me, I'm not going out and partying like I used to. I enjoy being able to sit at home and relax after I finish work. But for a young person wants to get up and party and do things and hang out with their friends. And that would make them incompatible with an older person who just wants to chill out in the evening. Okay. So that's not very likely that that relationship will work. And we could get upset and say, well, age has nothing to do with it. Well, that may be true. There are some very young, older adults, just like there's some very old, young people who don't get around very much or move very much. But I'm really talking more about the things that you have as an interest. So if we don't know, first of all, about ourselves, which is what I always tell people to do, you first of all have to know thyself. Mm-hmm. Once you know what you like and what you don't like, for example, I love traveling. So I need a man who loves to travel. If my husband didn't want to travel, that would be a problem for me because I love traveling. But of course, I'm blessed. My husband loves to travel as much as I do. And so we go as often as we can. Now, when we're talking about what they brought up on with Iyanla and Ebony, it's very clear that Ebony makes a great deal of money. Mm-hmm. And when we look at the average income of Blacks, we're talking about really around $40,000. That's the average salary. Ebony's probably making $200,000 or more per year, $200,000. So it's going to be very difficult for her to find a man who is Black who makes that kind of money. So does that mean, which was a piece of the issue as well, that she has to find a non-Black man who makes that kind of money? Well, there's a problem with that. Now, some people say love is blind. Well, that's why love ends up in divorce so often, because people have not been able to see what it takes to make a healthy relationship work. I strongly urge people to look for someone from the same cultural background, because that gives you a solid foundation of experiences and knowledge. Music, if you come from a different culture, let's just say, now I know that there's some Black people who like country, but I'm using this as an example. Okay. If you like country, but your partner loves R&B, and all they want to hear is country, that's going to be a point of contention. If you like a certain kind of food, I'm a vegan. So if my husband, who was originally, he was originally sort of a vegan, but got converted by me during college when I was still eating from my Southern roots. And I converted in college and became a vegan. And he started eating meat. But then that became an issue for me because I didn't even want him to cook meat in my dishes. But now I have converted him. He is now back to being a vegan. So we have something in common, but he was always very respectful of me and I was respectful of him. We didn't have to be exactly alike, but if I said, please don't use this pan, you don't say, oh, it shouldn't matter. You show me respect just like I show you respect by saying, okay, these are yours and these are mine to cook out of.
Sure.
But sometimes what happens is, and I see it all the time in therapy, is that we have one partner who wants everything to be his or her way, and they refuse to compromise. And relationships are about compromising. It's not about you always getting your way or me always getting my way. So certainly what Ebony was talking about is that for her, money is important because she has a certain lifestyle and she obviously is concerned about having a man who may be taking from her and not giving. And that's usually the fear when women start talking about that, because they've probably had a partner who was taking and not giving. And taking doesn't mean just taking your money. One might say that might be the case with Oprah and Stedman. I mean, she's got plenty of money. She doesn't care if her man has money or not. And if you're really making enough money, you shouldn't care either, right? But what's really important is whether or not your partner is contributing to the relationship. That means if I can't cook, does he cook? If he does, good deal. That means if I can't get home in time with the children, does he make sure they're eating, works with them on their homework, gives them a bath, reads them a story? Then that's working with me. But if this man believes that the definition of manhood is that I only go to work and I come home and put my feet up and have a beer, then that is not a definition of a man.
That's not going to work. Dr. Gooden, I hate to interrupt you, but we're going to have to take a short break. Family, if you've just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with Dr. Gooden. We're going to go to our socials to see what comments you all are sharing with us, and we're still accepting phone calls. Join the conversation. You can do so by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Whatever you do, though, stay with us because we'll be right back.
The Juneteenth block party at AMP is back bigger and better than before. Kicking off Wawa Welcome America on Monday, June 19th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the African American Museum in Philadelphia on Arch Street between 7th and 8th. Join them for a nonstop day of culture, history, and fun. Hosted by Word's very own Tiffany Bacon, with performances by DJ Spinderella, Cy Rock, and Soul Messiah, Mr. Man's Jam Band, and a very special tribute to 50 years of hip-hop. Enjoy free admission to the museum, family-friendly entertainment, games, food, giveaways, and more. For more information, visit July4thphilly.com.
Philly, your time is now. Calling all business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs. Operation 10 City Greatness Unlocked is coming to Philadelphia at the Pennsylvania Convention Center on Saturday, June 10th. Register today for free at Operation10City.com.
Join us Saturday, June 10th for the 30th Annual Islamic Festival and Parade at Penn's Landing. Friday will feature a citywide Jumu'ah prayer service on the Independence Mall grounds. On Saturday, it's the Islamic Heritage Festival at the Great Plaza at Penn's Landing on Columbus Boulevard. Hosted by Moses the Comic. There will be performances from Neelam, Jamaluddin Takuma, the Universal Drum and Dance Ensemble, food, vending, children's activities, and more. Saturday, June 10th, it's the 30th Annual Islamic Festival and Parade. Saturday, June 10th at Penn's Landing in Philadelphia.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Word Radio is happy to provide our listeners with the opportunity to participate in contests and win prizes. This is a reminder of our contest rules. All participants must be 18 years of age or older. Depending on the contest, persons may win only one prize from the radio station per contest for every 30-day period. Some contests might also specify one winner per household or company. Prizes must be claimed within 14 days or by 12 noon the day before the event, whichever is sooner, and must be accepted as is or forfeited. The radio station employees and their immediate relatives, sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, live remote sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, and any other media employee are ineligible to win prizes. Thank you for participating and for listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. So here we are. We are talking about a very sensitive subject. If you're just joining us, well, you came at the good part. It's such a touchy subject because we're talking about a dynamic where in the couple, the woman makes more than the man. I'm going to go to our socials for just a moment to see who has joined us. Ms. Leslie. Miss Leslie. Hi there. Miss Leslie Burrell writes, good evening. About to jump in this conversation. What is the goal? All right, Miss Leslie. Miss Leslie said, what is the goal? Okay, I'm going to ask Miss Leslie if you can call us so that we can. I want to dig into that because I remember, Miss Leslie, you were talking about this in a prior show, in a prior episode. So at this moment, I'm going to go to our phone lines to see if we have any family members waiting to join the discussion. Hello, are you there?
Hey.
Miss Leslie.
It's me, Miss Leslie. Hey. Told you about to jump in. I mean, every time I tune in, you got something good and sizzling for me.
Good.
Thank you. And listen, I'm loving listening to you, Dr. Gooden, as well. I'm just going to start at the end with just what I just wrote. What is the goal? That, to me, I'm just going to give you a little anecdotal history. I am 50. I've never been married, engaged a number of times. I do have 2 children, and God has blessed me with 2 wonderful co-parents. I'm just so thankful for it. But I knew as a young person that I did not have the stuff to be a wife, to be that partner, because I didn't know my goals were very insular. I knew I wanted to have children, wasn't in a rush to have them. I waited to my 30s to do it. Wanted to have a good time. You talk about partying the center and party with the best of them, baby. You know what I mean? But that's what I wanted to do, and knew that I didn't have what I felt it might take to be in a successful union partnership on a team that's trying to win. You know what I mean? Because winning is the goal, isn't it? And I will tell you this. It's interesting. You said something about an age differential. I have and anyone who might be listening who might know me, they know I have a major daddy complex. I'm a daddy's girl, the youngest, the only girl. And I was raised by a very good, wonderful father man. And so that's already where I'm at with it. We talk about finances, and money is so inconsequential because it is consequential. It's like breathing. You can't breathe without air. That's just what it takes. However, it's not like the money is going to always make your life so great. I mean, you really raised some really salient points about the ideas of what we like to do together. Mm-hmm. If I can't cook, is he going to diss me because I can't cook? Am I going to diss him because he won't teach me how to cook? Are we going to learn how to cook together? Are you going to teach me how to make your favorite things? Am I going to talk to your mom about how to make that?
Absolutely. Absolutely right.
But that's because I care for you, and I want to put that work in because you make me happy. And it has really always been a real thing for me. It's just about, my goal obviously is that's why I didn't say it already. It really is about happiness. I mean, I grew up in a big house. I've never really been interested in having a big house. It takes a lot to run a big house. You know what I mean? I'm not really interested in doing that. I do want to travel. I did want to have the flexibility to be able to pivot whenever I felt like it. And now even with my children, I kind of knew even as a young person, I didn't really want that day-to-day, input on how that's going to happen. Because I know myself, and you said that earlier, you have to know you, love you, before you can be down with anybody else. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to rely on, you talk about money, if money is the most important, you are going to fail because money is not going to keep you warm at night. Somebody's going to have to go out there and make it, right? Somebody's got to be out there doing it, and that means he's not with you or you're not with him, and somebody's got free time to do the devil's work, and who knows, God forbid, I hope and pray for you, baby. I just never wanted, to have that kind of dynamic at play because I always wanted to give everything I could to my children and just learn. I love learning in life. One thing that concerns me and worries me about our American Black man, whatever their age is, and probably as they are younger, probably they are more vulnerable in this area. It almost feels like they are afraid fearful of a woman, of someone who wants to learn from them, who regards them in such a way that when you talk, I am listening because I want to listen, not because I have to. The things you say inspire me. We're like pedals on a bike, right? And where's that bike going? Towards the goal. But it doesn't work without the two of us. And I find, as I've, travailed through these last, I would say, 30 years of real, like, maybe kind of thinking about being in something. I find that in the end, because it always ends, because I never wanted to be married as a young person, that I get the bad rap because, oh, you're too much. You want to know too much. You ask too many questions. You talking too much. You have too many ideas. You're thinking about this. You're thinking about, you're right. I am. Aren't you thinking about it? I know you are, because that's why I chose you. You know what I mean? Because you've already shown me, you've already demonstrated that you have a foundation, even if it's only in yourself. May not even come from your family. You may be the first one in your family to be a professional or be this or be that. It doesn't matter to me, because that's who I met, and that's the part that I'm latching into. Yeah, you might be fine, this and third. You may have a couple of dollars. Guess what? Here's another thing. I was raised with a couple of dollars. So your dollars are not really, your dollars are what the dollars are supposed to be. It's 100 pennies in a dollar, isn't it? So, and it all spends the same. I spend change just like I spend bills. But and if I'm going in one, and I'm gonna actually yield on this one. The idea of the I don't know how I feel about if I were to make more money than my partner. I don't know that I could make more money than my husband. I don't know that I would want to. I hope that doesn't sell myself short, but I'm going to ask Dr. Gooden, do you ever, what's your thinking on someone who actually can just, declare that?
Well, I think, once again, that tells me you know who you are, and that's important. And the issue is when you say, what is the goal? For me, I believe the goal should be to build strong Black families. And in order to do that, you first of all have to have a strong Black man and a strong Black woman. It's the only way. Nothing else will work.
It concerns me, though.
Okay. And so, people say, well, my partner's not Black. Well, then it's not a Black family. Pardon me?
She was saying that it concerns her.
I was just really saying amen. Actually, I was just saying amen, really.
So, Ms. Leslie, you were continuing. You were saying, what is your concern? It concerns you when?
I guess sometimes the concern is that that our men may just they don't have a comfort level with who they are. It's almost like they think they love themselves, but maybe they don't truly love themselves. I think, I love the American Black man. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not raised, you do what you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. I went to Quaker school. Everybody lives in the yellow submarine in my life. But for me, it's the American Black man. But I find that his vulnerability, his Achilles heel is when someone just appreciates them, wants to celebrate them. I find that that's where their tarnish is, where their weakness kind of starts to reveal itself, where they're revealing that they may not truly love themselves or who they've created, who they've sown into, who they've become. For someone that loves them, for a woman who loves herself. Listen, I love me some me. I don't know if you can hear that, but I do love me some me.
As you should.
And it just concerns and worries me sometimes that our men don't truly love themselves yet, and that is that makes it very difficult to to kind of move things forward, and maybe that's a part of the work that I never wanted to do. I don't want to, I have a son, and I sow into him. I think he loves himself from him, but I know I sure do love him to death, so, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't know if there's even a question there, but I always have hope, and I always have, just desire to build and create and develop with my American Black man,
Miss Leslie, is your concern that you won't find the man that is for you because of what's important to you?
No. Actually, it's funny. Someone just said, kind of posed that to me the other day because I just turned 50, and I have to tell you, I look great. I feel great. You know what I mean? My kids are great. You know, I own my house. You know, I'm accomplishing the things that I set out to accomplish, and that honestly was just not really something that I set out to accomplish. I believe that. Now, I will tell you, the dating scene is a little difficult. You know, that is it at this juncture. But I'm busy, so it's cool. You know, that's kind of an afterthought. You know,
I agree with you there.
He'll probably be 80 when I'm 60.
Listen, I agree with you, Miss Leslie. I'm on that with the dating scene. Yeah, I do agree with you because we're in that same pool. So I'm in full agreement with you on that. And quite honestly, what seems to come to me are young men.
Wasn't it funny though? When we were younger, we were a little selfish with ourselves, right? Now that we want to be more giving of ourselves, it's hard to find some takers.
That's true. That is so true. Wait, listen, I have gotten listen, I've lost the clock and everything. So family, we're going to have to take a short break. Miss Leslie, sit tight because when we come back, we are continuing the conversation. We are joined with Dr. AYO GOODEN, and we are talking about everything. You hear me, y'all? So stay with us because we will be right back.
Word Radio by Comcast.
When was the last time you cleaned your smartphone? If you can't remember, it might be time to give it and your other devices a little sprucing up. You don't necessarily need to buy expensive electronics wipes or other cleaners. An equal mix of isopropyl alcohol and water will do the trick. But make sure devices are turned off and unplugged before you start. Never spray any liquid directly onto any device. Slightly dampen a microfiber cloth and then use the cloth to clean the device. And don't forget that TV remote. It's one of the dirtiest gadgets in your home. Also, clean up the insides of your devices too by getting rid of old files or unused apps to free up hard drive space. Take a little time every so often to take care of your devices so they're always ready to go when you need them. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
In honor of Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, this is Blackademics.
Give me a beat!
The thing that frightened people about hip-hop was that they heard people enjoying the rhythm for rhythm's sake. Hip-hop lives in the world, not in the world of music. That's why it's so revolutionary. That's a quote from legendary drummer Max Roach. Before we dive into hip-hop's 50-year history, we need to understand its foundation. The roots of hip-hop, like many other musical genres, are planted in the soil of African rhythms and oral traditions. According to contemporaryafricanart.com, in Africa, drums hold a deeper symbolic and historical significance. They herald political and social events. They are used as an alarm or call to arms, stirring up emotion for battle and war. Drums are about communication. For centuries, the talking drums were a primary source of communication between tribes used to transmit messages, sometimes across great distances. When Africans were enslaved in America, the drum continued to be an important form of communication across great distances. These rhythms still speak to us today.
They praise the music. This time they play the lyrics.
Legendary drummer Max Roach.
So the term rap music is not applicable to where they are because they deal with the spoken word. The fact that they have that rhythm going on attracts people, so everybody is now become part of the dance community. So somebody said it's rap music. But actually, it's the art of the spoken word. It's what they're dealing with. And the stories they tell, they talk about their life in our community today.
This Black Music Month vignette was brought to you by the NAA Male Wellness Agency, WXBN Artists to Watch podcast, PICO, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, Possagen, and Comcast. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. If you have just joined us, well, you've missed a little bit of a lot. We've been talking about love and life and everything in between, okay? So we started with the conversation about the dynamic between a man and a woman where the woman makes more money than the man. And we were having a conversation with Ms. Leslie, who asked, what is the goal? What's the goal? That's what she asked. And so we're continuing the conversation. You too are invited to join the conversation. You can do so by sharing a message with us on our socials, or you too can call us. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Ms. Leslie, did we lose you, or are you still there with us?
No, you know I'm still here, girl.
There she is. So we got to get to the bottom of this, because I want to find out before we move further, because I know some of our other family members want to join the conversation too. But I'm so curious to know. So are you interested in finding a significant other?
Well, finally, I think I'm coming to the time where I am getting ready to be maybe open to it. And did you hear all of those words that I just used?
I sure did. I sure did. I heard the getting ready to the maybe and the one day and the building up to.
That is the truth, because right now I am still well vested in what I'm doing with my children. That's my priority. Mm-hmm. But the other part of it is I would just love to kind of ride through. I'm not pressed to get married, no, but I would love to have somebody to ride with. What did Teddy say? Walk down the middle of the road with? I would love to do that. And that's just to let you know that because I like country music too. You might think next time before he cheats or whatever. But I, you know what I'm saying? I go the gamut. But I wanted to say this, and I still thank you for keeping me on. One of the, and I've had a good life. And one of the things about URD, I think it's such a small community that people get afraid to actually keep it real on this, because we're like, oh, I heard you want to show you. Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. Out of all of the advantages that my parents worked hard to provide for me, don't get it twisted, I thank you, Jesus. The best one is that the ability, the capacity to go after whatever it is I want to go after. Mm-hmm. And I can do it if I want to. And that sometimes is that's what I'm talking about with the loving oneself and X, Y, and Z, and finding that partner or, kind of being paired or, divinely paired with someone. It's that, sometimes people just can't. And I'm sure you may run into this as an artist because you've been around the world. You've been exposed to so many things. And sometimes people just probably can't believe you. They can't believe that you're okay with that. They can't believe that you can see things that way, or they can't believe that you are encouraging, in something that seems hopeless. You know what I mean? Because you've walked a path, and you've been exposed to so many things, and that's really why I'm not pressed. But like I said, to take it back to the humorous side of it, I was a little selfish then. I'm ready to be more giving now, and it is hard to find the takers.
I can identify with that.
Don't want that you don't want anything other than let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. You know, we're building life together now. I'm 50. You know what I mean? And he's definitely not going to be 25. That's for sure.
Hello, Miss Leslie. I'm with you, and I'm what 53 now, about to be 54. So I'm with you, Miss Leslie, on amen, amen. What I'm going to do, that we are. What I'm going to do, I thank you so much for calling. I'm going to take this time because I have to talk with some of our other family members who've been waiting to join the conversation too. But I'm enjoying this conversation with you, Miss Leslie. So please continue. Please continue to stay with us as we continue this discussion, because we're going to get to the bottom of this. You hear me? We're going to get to the bottom of this. In the meantime, I'd like to know if one of our other family members that has been waiting is still there. Are you still there?
Yeah, this is Maurice from Southwest.
Hi, Maurice.
Good evening.
And I still think I know you, Miss Riddick. I'm going to get to the end of this problem. I'm going to solve it.
Well, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
I think that me and you know, we got a mutual friend named Carl, but I'll get to that some other time.
Okay.
But, I love your guest because she wants to be her. And I love that she wants to be herself, her true self. She's not putting up a facade. This is who I am. And when I run into that person that the opposite of me or is me, that's who I'm going to hook up with, because I married my best friend years ago. My wife had to be my best friend. And she's always made more money than me. I mean, when I met her, she was into banking. I was doing retail, so you know the difference right there and there. And I would say, well, we can't afford it. And she would look at me like crazy. She said, you know where I work at. And I was like, well, you know, I'm supposed to be the man in this. And she said to me, and I stopped saying it after that, remember, if it was the opposite way around, your money would be my money, so my money is your money. So shut that stuff up. And that was the end of it.
Good for her.
And I respected her. And look, we never went to bed angry. We might went with a frown, but guess what? We had to kiss before the end of the night, even if we didn't like the kiss. You know, so even to this day, we are divorced now, but that not because of that because of anger or anything like that. We just changed as we got older. But guess what? She is still my best friend.
I love that.
So I just want people to understand that she is still. But see, when people look at the TV and these shows on, they try to portray the black man as if he's not making top dollar, he's a bum. And that's the problem right now. They put a good man is a rich man. No, a good man is a good man. That's all it is. And people got to realize that sometimes the people that had the less can give you the most. So I want you to keep that in mind, and I won't keep listening because maybe somebody else want to call on the subject. Because guess what I'm getting ready to do? Get ready to call my best friend.
I know that's right. Call your best friend. You hear me? You tell her we said hello, okay?
I will. And remember Carl. I think the guy's named Carl. Back in West Philly. I hope one next time we call, you say, "Oh yeah, I know Carl." I'm
trying desperately to remember who Carl is. I hope I do.
Okay,
I'm going to try to remember.
To you anyway.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you for calling. Do we have another family member waiting to talk with us?
Oh yeah. Hi, Carol, and hi, Dr.
Miss
Gooden.
Lola.
Good evening.
Hi, Dr. Gooden. You know, I really like you a lot. You used to come on. I think you still do sometimes. You come on Carol's show, but you also come on Dr. Umeka's show, and that's where I start hearing you. And I just love how you present, you know, with your education and your expertise about Black love and how you stand for Black people. You're just amazing, and I really do love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Gooden. So, yes, I wanted to say something just from a different aspect that when Dr. Gooden said something about how people are raised and what goes with them as they're raised. And I was raised with a good dad as well. And my mom, But I did, have aunts and uncles and stuff. And I remember this one time I was very young. And so a lot of my family members, because of, the raping and slavery and stuff, were very, very light and could pass for white, way before I was even born. But then, of course, that came down to from that timeline. So I had this one aunt, and she was older, and she was very light. And I remember my family members, like, she was the one that passed. She became a doctor and worked in a hospital, but did not reveal that she was Black. So she came down to visit, and this, the years had gone by and everything, and the times had changed. But Dr. Gooden, she said to me one time, do not ever date, and these are not my words, these are her words, and I'm just sharing. Don't ever date or marry a dark-skinned Black man, because they are abusive and they will beat you and they will hurt you. And the thing I would bring that up because of what you said, that stayed with me for, up until I was like way past grown. And I didn't understand, at that time, I was like maybe 11 or 12. And I didn't understand what had happened to her in her life. I didn't find out about that until I was grown. And so then I understood why she said that. She was coming from a place of hurt. But you were right. What happens when you're a child and you hear these things, it stays with you. And I had this vision of that's what they did, because if you were like light skin or something like that, that's what, she was telling me. But I just wanted to share that. And then I also wanted to say that a lot of times when Black men make less money, to me, I'm going to the root of how this country is made. Like where I work and where I have worked in corporate and law, there was only one lawyer, one Black lawyer, one on the floor, one special agent on the floor who was Black, and that was on a different floor. And so you never saw, and it's to this day, I'm saying this, that there was still one Black on this other place I used to work in corporate, and that has not changed. And so therefore, the spaces where a lot of Black men could be, they are not afforded to make the type of money that white men make. And unless they become entrepreneurs or do different things, I'm not saying everyone. I mean, of course, we have a lot of rich millionaires and rappers and stuff like that. But I'm just saying the working class man, for the working class woman in this world. If you're not wealthy, if you're working every day, I don't care if you're making $200,000 like Ebony K, like you said, anybody. If you're going to work, you are a working person. And so that's what we have to get out of this concept that because I'm making $200,000-$300,000, but you still work for someone, so you're a working person. And so a lot of places, Black men aren't afforded the salaries and to get into the door like white men are. And so therefore, I just getting deep right here, go back to how this is how they wanted it, because a lot of my colleagues that are Black women, unfortunately, in some of the circles I'm in, a lot of them have went to white men saying that Black men don't treat them right. They don't, they don't have the salaries, but they also weren't raised, they have a lot of baggage because of being raised by single moms. And so I think it's like a lot of stuff, Dr. Gooden, and I would like for you to speak on that when I hang up, because a lot of women do want to be with Black men. But I think that this world and this country, Black men have so much on them. And then you have the relationships with Black women and Black men. And then you put in this money thing. And so I just think it's so tough, Dr. Gooden. And a lot of people have like given up saying, well, I just want to be loved. I don't care what the person is at this point, because I just want to have love in my life. I was fortunate enough to find a wonderful, Black man and have children and marry and all that stuff with. So when I try to tell them, like, no, there's hope, you can still do it. And they're like, Lola, you don't know what's out here. There was nothing out there for us then, and there it isn't now. And if I don't get married to this white guy or another type of guy, I will be alone. And so unlike the other caller, a lot of people do want to get married and have love. So Dr. Gooden, can you speak on that, about the relationship barriers and about how Black men have kept out of different sectors to even make the money that can match up to white men or any other men? And this is my last thing, Carol, I wanted to say, is that it is about character, because you can make the most money and not share it at all. You can be the most selfish, meanest person, not share that money or anything. And then you have a working class man or a man who is doing it and loves his family and will do anything that he can for his family. I've seen it on both sides with my family. My dad made quite a lot, and then I had uncles and stuff who were just, regular average working guys. And you see that you can still provide for your family, but you do have to find the right partner, because behind every man is that good woman. My grandmother and my father would have this plaque, and every time you go in the house, it said, behind every man, there is a good woman standing beside him. And I think it does take that to build that relationship and to make that relationship. And my father always told me it's a lot of work, but you have to like the person first. You have to have things in common with that person, and then all of the other stuff will kind of flourish. But that's what I wanted to say. So Dr. Gooden, can you speak on that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your comments and your question. The Black Love Partners was created by me and another person in order to address those very issues. And what we see is that Black people don't have many places where they can go to find a partner. Where do you go? If you don't go to church and find somebody, a bar is not a good choice, because you're more likely going to be bringing home an alcoholic than you are a good partner. So there needs to be a place, a safe place where we can meet each other, where we can find out what we have in common. And so Black Love Partners was created to do just that. But we also, as you've pointed out, have a lot of damage. We've got trauma we're talking about 500 years of abuse. And when, your relative who was very light and could pass, part of what a lot of Black people don't stop to think about is that our lighter skin got there through somebody raping one of our ancestors. And it's our dark-skinned ancestors who survived in spite of what was being done to them. So bragging about white blood is really psychologically inappropriate, because you're running around bragging about the rapist instead of the person who survived the trauma that she was put through, not just once, but it was a daily, repeatedly done activity for fun, or sometimes for punishment, whatever. But in addition to that, we have to realize, like you said, once again, you spoke so much truth. I'm so impressed. Black men do not choose their salaries. If they did, they would always choose to make more than Black women. But Caucasians decide how much money women are going to make, Black women are going to make, Black men are going to make. And as a result, there is an insidious plan to destroy Black people in every way possible, whether it's through not paying us fair wages, making us work extra hard to get whatever money we have so we don't have time to see our families if we're making good money, from teaching us that looking more European is better, that you're more attractive because you're light, because you have straight hair, or because you have a thin nose and thin lips. That is only one small, teeny feature preference among a group of people who classify themselves as white. But when you look at the globe, people of color are the majority, which is why I came up with the word melanics to refer to people of color, because we are the majority on the planet. Caucasians represent a tiny 10%, but because they're very aggressive, they have made their value system our value system. For example, one of the things we've learned is to create and accept holidays based on European value systems. So there's a holiday coming up next month, the 4th of July, which I tell people, why are we celebrating that? Black people were enslaved during the founding or the celebration of independence from Britain. The Caucasians got freedom. Black people weren't free. Latinx weren't free. Indigenous people weren't free. Asians weren't free who were in this country. But we've been taught to celebrate what they want us to celebrate, including physical features. And we need to stop that. It's very difficult for Black women who are dark skinned with full lips and tightly curled hair to be received as beautiful by Black men, because Black men have been taught, just like Black women have been taught, that European standards of beauty are accurate, and they are not. Because when we start learning our history, what we will find out is that dark skin, full lips, tightly curled hair, broad noses are the beauty standard globally prior to Caucasians dominating the globe. So what does that mean for us? It means that because we value the wrong things, we end up rejecting people because of the way they look. We reject people because they don't make enough money. That is not the definition of manhood. You make more money than I do, therefore you're a man. No, absolutely wrong. And Black women are buying into these standards, and we're getting into all of this. And I know I'm going to offend some people, but I'm going to say it anyway. These weaves, bleaching skin, long claws, fake eyelashes that look like, I don't know, caterpillars or thousand leggers. That is not the standard of beauty that we should be aspiring to, because here's the truth. It's killing us. Bleaching our skin, straightening our hair, all of that is killing us. And meanwhile, the racist people who want you to die, and I can say that because I'm a scientist taught, okay? They do not want you to be happy with who you are. They want you to be like them. And anytime Black women do that, what we're really doing is saying we agree with them, that Black women aren't beautiful enough. We need to look like them in order to be beautiful. But Black men and Black women have been taught that lie. It is a lie. We are the most brilliant people on the planet. We're the fathers and mothers of all the sciences. We're the fathers and mothers of the people. We're the descendants of the ones who built the pyramids in North, South, Central America, and in Africa, and in China. Those pyramids were built by us. But we are being taught misinformation. Plus, if in your family you saw disruptive relationships between men and women, then you've learned the wrong message about men and women. All men and women are not alike. There are good Black people just like there are bad Black people. There are good Black men just like there are bad Black men. But we have to look at why. Because we have been damaged, traumatized century after century without any healing, which is why being able to go and say, listen, I know I need some healing. And going to a Black psychologist or a Black social worker and getting the help you need to be healed so you're ready for a good relationship. We need help. Low self-esteem is a result of the abuse that we continue to get today.
You are, oh my goodness, Dr. AYO. I did not want to stop you, and I'm sorry that you even took a breath. But in any event, family, what we're going to do right now is take just a short break. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
Philadelphia, Black men are dying from preventable diseases. You can be a part of the solution. Come out to Temple University's Aramark Star Complex on Saturday, June 17th at 7 a.m. for their annual African American Male Wellness Walk and Run. Walk for your dad, brother, husband, son, uncle, and yourself. This is a free family event with kids entertainment, free health screenings, and much more. Visit aawellness.org and they'll see you on Saturday, June 17th at Temple University's Aramark Star Complex, walking to save Black men's lives.
You're one connection away from your next career opportunity. Operation 10 City is hosting a Business Opportunity Expo and Career Fair on June 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Register to attend for free to meet local entrepreneurs and companies looking to hire at operation10city.com.
Word family, it's that time again. Our special early bird membership drive. Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax, Word President and CEO. We need your support now more than ever, especially this year when we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. For the last 2 decades, WURD has been the only place in Philly where our people can speak and be heard in their own voice every day, all day long. Your membership support has allowed us to expand our programming, deepen our community engagement, and provide culturally relevant information across all of our platforms, on air, online, on social media, and through community outreach events. If you're not a Forward member yet, please join or renew today at the discounted rate of $75. Visit us at wordradio.com/earlybird or check us out in person when we'll be at Odunde on June 11th, Words Black Music Month celebration on June 16th, or for the Juneteenth weekend celebrations on June 18th and 19th. For more information, go to wordradio.com/earlybird. Thanks so much.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. What I want to do is take a moment to go to our socials to read some of the comments. To see what our family members are saying. Miss Phyllis writes, good evening, Carol, Kayla J, Word family and guest. Enjoy your evening. Leslie Burrell, Miss Leslie, who joined us on the phone, writes, you don't have to explain, good sir. I believe that was in response to Maurice, who had joined us. Keith Harris writes, it's true. I was told and realized in many instances that dark-skinned women are female versions of what she described. A friend told me the same thing about dark-skinned women many years ago. Ms. Phyllis writes that Black men feel intimidated when a woman makes more than them. And Keith follows up by saying, it seems dark men and women go for light or white, and lighter the opposite. Malcolm writes, watching and listening from West Mount Airy. Good evening, Carol, Gaston, Miss Kayla J. Good evening to you as well. Let's see. Ms. Lola. Oh, she wanted to be clear. She writes, Dr. Gooden, I wasn't celebrating lighter skin. I know it came from rape and slavery. She just wanted to be clear about that. And Ms. Leslie follows saying, I firmly believe that I must have attraction first. Attracted to his smell, his voice, the way his eyes make me feel when he looks at me. Primal is the term for the attraction necessary for me, with or for him. And Keith follows up by saying that free Blacks fought against the British. But the guest is on point with her train of thought. Racist whites want us to think Blacks were all slaves in the South and only whites were up north. And so then the remainder of our family members are commenting on what you were talking about the weaves and the lashes. And Ms. Diana Montague writes, low self-esteem is killing us.
Yes.
It truly is. It truly, truly, truly is. She writes, I want to see the very ones that put those lashes on us and wear them themselves. She writes, I've never seen them wear clown lashes. And Gary writes, your guest is so on point. I believe we have one family member left on the phones. I'm terribly sorry. I did not know you were there. If you are still there, are you ready to join us? Oh, there you are. There you are. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Okay. I just wanted to say your guest was so on point. I wish I could had that recorded. As a Black man, and I think about close friends I grew up with, and all of them married, great fathers. A lot of times, we don't get, as a Black man, we don't get the respect that we're due. And in society, a lot of times there's situations where the wife makes more than the Black man, and sometimes it creates a little problem in the household. I know I have two sons and they're grown now, but as they were growing up, they used to everybody called me Mr. Mom. I took them to their doctor's appointments. If they got sick, I took off a couple of days. We would split the time, but I was hands-on everything that was going on with them, reading to them, spending time with them, all the activities they were involved in. I was there to initiate that. Sometimes I think with us, we don't have the unity, meaning husband and wife, that we should have in a lot of situations, and getting that respect, because as a Black man, you think about slavery, and if you know about buck breaking and all the things that happened to us, our forefathers, our men couldn't even protect their families. They went through a lot of psychological scars because they could not, and they would not allow them. They would take our women, abuse them, rape them, our daughters, and sons, and even the men. So we have a lot of psychological scars that we really need to deal with, but we need to come together as a people and have more unity. And the thing about the lashes and the hair and all that, I'm out. It just blows my mind. I don't get it. Our women are beautiful without all that. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Your comment is so appreciate. I'm sorry, Dr. Gooden.
Thank you for that comment, because, Black women need to hear that from Black men. When you're walking down the street and you see a sister wearing her hair natural, she's dark, tell her how beautiful she is. The more men do that, the more Black women will understand, get it, and let go of the miscommunication. And actually, quite honestly, it's not a miscommunication, because this institutionalized racism is designed to make Black women feel ugly and Black men to feel impotent. That is the goal, because then you'll fight each other because you don't have any power. She doesn't have any power. So who do you turn on? Turn on each other. And so that is why we need to be aware of what's going on. There's a bigger plan out there. They want to destroy us in every way. Our children through the school systems. They want to destroy us through our jobs, not paying us properly, discriminating against us when we do have a job, you name it. So they don't just use one approach. They sit down and they plan the demise of Black people. A real good example, if I may kind of change a little bit, the new thing about medical marijuana. A lot of people are unaware that if you smoke marijuana, even if it's prescribed, and you have a gun, even though you're licensed, it's a felony if they catch you with that gun and you go to prison. But you're seeing all these marijuana places popping up all over the place and physicians encouraging people to smoke. And we don't understand. They're looking for additional ways to lock us up. It's interesting to me. But let me say this. When you talked about Black men and women and dark-skinned people partnering with light-skinned people, that is because of the racism that we've gone through, where certainly during enslavement times, if you were the offspring of the enslaver, you got privileges that the others didn't get, whether that's being the house or whatever. And as time has gone on through the centuries, it has continued where light-skinned people will be given privileges, praise. Oh, what a beautiful baby. You see a dark-skinned baby and you say, oh, yeah. Oh, how nice. Okay? Because we've been trained to see each other through the eyes of our oppressor. So until we start changing that through creating media, through programs such as this program, until we start talking and praising each other for our natural dark skin and full lips and tightly curled hair, the brothers in particular have the power to help reshape how Black women see themselves. I have clients who are afraid to wear their hair naturally because of what the men will say. Okay? So brothers, you have the major responsibility here to help change how Black women see themselves. And yes, it's a common dynamic to see dark-skinned men partnering with light-skinned women and dark-skinned women seeking out light-skinned men. But the reality, once again, when you partner, let's say, generally speaking, there's exceptions to every rule, that when you partner as a Black woman with a Caucasian male, understand that Caucasian male came through that same system and he sees himself as superior. Now, behind closed doors, and I've done research on this and seen it in my clients' dynamics when they're partnered, there is that enslaver personality that comes out with the sexual activities where many times they denigrate their females and they want to take on the role of being the enslaver behind closed doors. Now, that's not every Caucasian male with Black females, just like with the switch there. When you look at Black men with Caucasian females, they may feel so special because they have this Caucasian female, their trophy. But the reality is that Caucasian female knows if she wants to scream rape, you're going to prison if you make it to prison. And as much as we would love to have all people have a fair and just kind of relationship with each other, because of the institution of racism, psychologically, it's impossible for Black people and Caucasian people not to be dealing with the results of that system that was going for 400 years, and the last 500, the last 100 adding up to 500. We've got damage that's been done to Black people, Caucasian people, and non-Caucasian, non-Black people. We have images that were created to make sure that people see us in a negative way. And we have to fight that with each other, working together, supporting Black businesses. And yes, on the anniversary of WURD, making sure we're donating. So these are things we must do. And in my book, I talk about ways to change the way we think, the way we behave, and there's exercises that we can do in the privacy of our home. But if you're not one to read, go get a Black psychologist or a Black clinical social worker or a marriage family therapist who's Black. Why do I say Black? Because they will understand more likely racism and the dynamics of racism and its impact on you as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when I tell you, Dr. Gooden, you always give me a full meal to digest, and I so appreciate you for that. I truly do. I mean it with every fiber of my being. I do. Family, if you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. There is still time for you to join the conversation if you choose to do so by calling us. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Our family members are communicating with us on our socials. I know I have missed some of your messages. Gary, thank you again. Gary writes, our Black is beautiful and our intelligence is off the charts. Thank you for that. And I can say, quite honestly, as a woman who's trying to enjoy my maturation process and the changes that, my body is going through and what have you, this whole natural hair thing, I love my hair, but I don't know it. And women, ladies, you'll know what I'm saying when I say this, because sometimes our hair, the texture changes and what have you, when you get to a certain stage in life. So here I am, I'm on another level. I'm on the 5th level and I have this new texture of hair that I'm learning. So here I am learning and trying to learn, me. So it feels good to hear a Black man say that a Black woman looks good in her natural state. And I know I'm of the lighter complexion, but let me tell you something. I am Black through and through. Okay. Through and through. So it feels good to hear you say that. And it feels good to know that. And I'm telling you, from this Black woman to that Black man, thank you. Thank you so much. So much, because I am, from this Black woman, and I can't speak for other Black women, but I'm speaking for me when I say, I don't subscribe to all of the other, the BBLs and the lashes and the hair, the weaves, and I'm not putting anyone down who does. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about me and what I like for me and what I do for me. I am glad and happy to know that it is appreciated. That's what I'm saying. So family, I'm appreciating you and the comments that you are sharing, as well as the comments that you are making about the information and the education that Dr. Gooden is sharing with us. Miss Lola writes, well, Doctor, they're also getting it from social media, reality TV, videos. They are heavily influenced by what they see to get material things and acceptance on social media. That is what is shown. Where horrible lashes, get a BBL, get a guy with money. Yes, exactly. K. Rashad Bey writes, not only rape, but Sally steals all of the black man's money. And I'm imagining you're referring to the white woman, but there is so much to talk about as it pertains to this subject right here, because we need each other. And I tell you, black man, I tell you all the time that I love you, and you know that I need you because I say it. I need you. And I want you. I don't want to be with a man of another race. I say that. I have nothing against them. I've never dated a man of another race, but I just don't have an interest to do so. I love my black man. I love you. So, family, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take just a short break. But when we come back, I believe we're going to have a brief phone call from one of our family members, and then we'll see where we take it from there. Hold on, family, because we will be right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
When the weather heats up, everyone starts planning to hit the road. But for any time of year that you're traveling, here are some tech tips to think about. First, take a picture of important documents and store them on your phone. Things like your driver's license, passport, or health insurance card can be stored securely in the Notes app on iPhone or the Google Keep app on Android phones. If you're heading to a foreign country, download the Google Translate app and save that country's language for offline use so you can communicate even without an internet connection. And finally, make sure you back up any devices you're traveling with before you leave, just in case they are lost, damaged, or stolen. Here's wishing you safe travels and have fun. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
The Juneteenth Block Party at AMP is back bigger and better than before. Kicking off Wawa Welcome America on Monday, June 19th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the African American Museum in Philadelphia on Arch Street between 7th and 8th. Join them for a nonstop day of culture, history, and fun. Hosted by Word's very own Tiffany Bacon. With performances by DJ Spinderella, Cy Rock, and Soul Messiah, Mr. Man's Jam Band, and a very special tribute to 50 years of hip-hop. Enjoy free admission to the museum, family-friendly entertainment, games, food, giveaways, and more. For more information, visit July4thphilly.com.
Music is my heart and soul. It's more precious than gold. Turn on some music.
This June, we celebrate Black Music Month and the 50th anniversary of hip-hop with an insightful and entertaining event. Join us for Message in the Music, Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion on hip-hop as a soundtrack to inspire or incite. There's a live music trivia game with prizes, a cipher, and an open mic. Our featured panelists include Dr. Aaron Smith, Tane, Queen Joe, Deanna Williams, and Ursula Rucker. If you love music, have an opinion about the state of hip-hop, want to test your musical knowledge, or want to show off your talent, then come join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. You'll even be able to sign up to become a Word member. Make sure you do that before you do anything else. Be sure to join us on Friday, June 16th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and WXPN Artist to Watch podcast.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Family, welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. gmail.com. I'm looking at the time, and I get carried away talking. So we are going to take what I believe is our last caller of tonight, and we're going to have an abbreviated conversation. If you are still there, are you still there?
I am. I guess my name is William Tidwell.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you well. Hello.
Okay. So, I chimed into the conversation a little late, but I really appreciate y'all talking about this topic. So before I make my statement, I just want to know, after I get finished, how much do you think the Willie Lynch letter played in some of the thought process amongst our people? And the reason why I say that is because I'm a therapist by trade, and I noticed that, if a person is real light skinned, they get more favors than a person that's dark skinned. And some of my clients, they really into, dating women from the European culture. And I just be sitting to myself saying, you really don't understand. You really don't. And anyway, I think that has a lot to do with the Willie Lynch letter, and a lot of our people are unaware of it. So I just want to make that brief, ask that question, and then make a brief statement like that.
Well, thank you for the question. And I think the Willie Lynch letter is really documenting what Caucasians did and are doing and have developed further. That's taking whatever they can to divide and conquer people. So for those who don't know about the Willie Lynch letter, Lynch was a enslaver in Virginia, and he was brought to the other enslavers meeting to teach them supposedly how to break an enslaved person and how to control us. And basically he said you pit the old against the young, the light against the dark, the house against the field. And the bottom line is what that's just representing is institutionalized racism and how they have systems in place through the educational system, through the media, through the movies, now the superheroes, if you see what's going on. When we see commercials where a dark person or a black person is with a non-black partner, all of that is designed, whether it's in the videos with the dancing girls who are light-skinned with long hair, it's to train us to reject who we are and to embrace who they are so that we will be unhappy with ourselves. And so a piece of what has to happen is Black people must learn Black history. You must learn the truth. Right now, we're being taught so many lies through school. For example, one of the big lies is that there are 7 continents. Well, anybody who looks at a map knows there are only 6 continents. But because Caucasians feel inadequate, and from a psychological perspective, inadequate people tend to bully other people, make up lies, try to feel better about themselves, as the Caucasian has done. The Caucasian is the only group of people on the planet who do not have a continent. And therefore, they lie and say that Europe is a continent when it's actually part of Asia. And there's so many other examples like that I could share with you. And in fact, Juneteenth is coming up in 2 weeks, and that's a piece of my African clothing today. But even Black people reject African clothing, African history, African names, and feel that you must be a Muslim if you're wearing your African clothes, and they reject Muslims. When in reality, if we knew the truth, the majority of the people kidnapped from Africa were Muslims. So that our people were brought here. But let me say, Christianity, the concept of one God, was created by Black people, not Caucasians. So we are the ones who gave knowledge to the world. But because we're not taught Black history, we're taught European history. We falsely believe that somehow we're inferior, and certainly
Africans are inferior, when in reality, the research shows the smartest people on the planet are Nigerians. They have more PhDs than any other ethnic group on the planet. But when you look at what we've produced as African people, it makes sense. So we must teach our people in therapy about Black history. I teach Black history to my clients. I teach it to non-Black people as well.
Again,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, Mr. Tidwell, for joining the conversation. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes.
We so
Yes.
appreciate
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
I just have one other thing I want to say before we go. I remember I had the opportunity to go to Ireland, and I went into a store just to get a local delicacy of theirs, just to taste it. And this Indian guy was following me around like if I wanted to steal. I had a pocket full of money. I had to finally turn around because I was really irritated because my ears was clogged. I told him, stop following me. I ain't going to steal. I got a pocket full of money. And that's the misconception that other people have of us, that we want to steal.
That we're criminals. That comes
and that's
from
all over the world. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, you're right. Oprah Winfrey had that problem. And I would have hoped that Oprah Winfrey, instead of spending any money there, would have said, guess what? I'm going to buy this store and fire you. And then the money that comes in goes into her bank account. We have to change what we do with the individuals. When we run into racist business owners, don't spend your money there. We need to be buying clothes made by Black people, like this outfit. Instead of going and trying to get designer clothes, they take their money and they support their people. We're not doing that. Let's take our money and get young people and older people who can sew to make our clothes, because truly rich people don't buy their clothes in a store. They buy it from a tailor who makes clothing to fit them. Let's start spending our money with Black people. That will help to turn this racist society around. Just supporting each other, just loving each other.
Oh, Dr. Gooden, I am praying that you come back to visit us again. You listen, I'm going to stay on you, family. I keep asking Dr. Gooden whenever I talk with her. I said, will you please come back to visit frequently, because I so appreciate your insight and the education that I always receive from you. And you truly do uplift my spirit. I will say this, and you give me hope. You do. You do give me hope. Oh, Miss Lola, she says, we need her 3 times a month. We can't get enough. I'm with you, Miss Lola. Okay, so I'm going to work on Dr. Gooden. I'm going to work on her to see if we can't get her to come visit more often, because quite honestly, this conversation was so, it was just so, I can't even find the word to say how I'm feeling right now. But number one, it was necessary. But I feel like it was, I just feel so good that we've had it, but I want it to continue. I definitely want this conversation to continue, because we are all in agreement that we need each other. We are all in agreement about that. And I believe that the only way that we move forward, we get closer to that, is if we continue the conversation and we are honest with one another, open and honest with one another. So family, you already know what I'm about to say. I'm going to thank you so much. I'm extending my utmost gratitude to each and every one of you, those of you who shared with us on our socials, those of you who called in tonight, Ron, Maurice, Miss Lola, Brother Gary, Miss Leslie, and Brother Tidwell. Thank you so much for calling in. I cannot name everyone who shared on our socials, and I'm sorry if I missed your comment, because I do my best to read every comment on the air, but I so appreciate you for contributing to the conversation too, because you are necessary, and that. Y'all know I love you. I do. Special thanks to our guest, Dr. Ayo Maria Gooden, for sharing your time, your energy, your space, your knowledge, and your attention with us. It is truly always appreciated, greatly appreciated. And I want to I would be remiss if I did not share this again. Dr. Gooden's book is called A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle. I want to make sure, because some of our family members did ask, and I want to be sure that those who are listening are aware. A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle. And so that is the name of the book. And you can reach out to Dr. Ayo at blacklovepartners.com, because we're going to talk about Black love. We're going to continue that conversation. You hear me, Dr. Ayo? We need that. We need that.
Let me interrupt you, because I need you to know that you calm my spirit. And I want to thank you for that. You are such a calming spirit, and I need you. And we all need you to keep doing the work that you're doing. You are a blessing to me, and I'm sure to the family.
Dr. Ayo, you know I'm a big teardrop. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Additional special thanks to Miss Kayla J, as always, for making sure that everything runs smoothly, and to Niall Jax, and for the entire WURD family. Thank you so much for all that you do. Family, you know I'm going to say it because I say it to you every single night. We're all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. Have a great night, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We love you.
Yes.
Philly, your time is now. Calling all business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs. Operation 10 City. Greatness on